got a lot of ideas the last time I posted a video. So I want to thank you for those ideas. And I just decided to dive in, and we shall see what some of your ideas draw out of me. I've watched nothing. I just took some notes from the comments, and here I go. Let's see what this reaction will bring. Okay, so this first one is none other than Idina Menzel. Not Idina, but Idina Menzel. Idina Menzel. Now, it was really scary 20 years ago because Eden Espinosa was also Elphaba. So sometimes you'd say Idina, Edina, Eden, Eden, Idina. It was crazy. So I had to train myself to say Idina so I knew who I was talking about. Sorry about that. It's Idina. I apologize. And I just found this one from the White House in 2010. So it's not necessarily recent. It's 10 years, 15 years ago. So let's see how she sings it. And hopefully, how would I know? Hopefully she's not sick. Hopefully she's not tired from 8 shows a week. Hopefully she's in her best voice. I'm reacting. I don't know what she's been through that week. I'm reacting to something somebody posted. So thank you, whoever posted this. And here we go. Let's take this as a learning experience. I love Idina Menzel. I never want to say mean things about her. So let's watch this one and cross our fingers. It won't have any of the cringy aspects that the one that I did before had, because supposedly she had asthma, or supposedly she was sick, or supposedly she had come off of 8 shows. So here we go.
And soon I'll match them in rebound.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it. So I'm not finding much difference. Yes, she's seems healthy. What she's doing is widening her mouth, which voice teachers call spreading, and she's really reaching her chest voice up as high as it will go. All of that is very natural to her. But when students like mine or yours, when students mimic that, they can hurt their voice, because not everyone's chest voice goes as high as Idina Menzel's. So watch how she has to spread, and she has to kind of push to get those notes. And one of the rules, probably since I'm going to say 20, I'll just try and be safe with 2000. Ever since the stroboscopy and the vocal science has gotten very specific on what to do and what not to do. And, you know, this is 2010, and she didn't care about, you know, being all trained. She's Idina Menzel. And she changed culture, if you haven't watched the other video. Yes, she changed culture, and she originated this sound. She gets the credit for making musical theater go so high. I credit Idina Menzel. She's amazing. She's natural at it. But chest voice has its pitfalls. When you're sick, you can't do it because your voice isn't 100% and you're on the edge of the cords. And the edge of the cords is where the snot and the mucus and the sputum sit. You can't sing sick, but when you use your full cord and you use the mass, sometimes you can still sing sick. Asthma attack is a completely different story. I'm not going to address that. But when you're an athlete and you have 7 games a week, or 6 games a week, I don't know sports. They don't make excuses. They stay in shape. They go to bed early. And if they're sick or if they injure themselves, then they sit out. Now, of course, she couldn't sit out the Tonys, but there are pitfalls to belting. I can't say it enough. She's good at it. She may or may not be straining. I never, ever want to call her that she's completely straining. I never want to say that. But look with me at the amount of pushing and oomph and huge mouth behaviors that accompany this sound that sounds like chest voice and for all intents and purposes is chest voice. So just listen carefully. Don't be defensive for her. Learn. And then if you happen to have her voice, then just do what you want. Do what you want. But if you don't have a really high belt and you're trying to yell it like she does, you might stretch out your voice a little bit, but over the years, it's not going to help you. We have to have a funeral for our chest voice sometimes. We have to grieve it, and then we have to move on to a more mature sound, which is the mix, the middle voice. We strengthen the middle voice, which, when you learn the magic method, is head voice. I know, it's so confusing. Anyway, so watch what belting requires. No wonder you get tired when you're belting your chest voice.
And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down.
Okay. That was suitable and lovely, but you could see the bring May. Those kind of things when you're live are to save yourself. I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but you have to know why people do what they do. They're devices. This device is to help her get through so she doesn't have to belt. And, let's look at Adele, the queen of belting, who had surgery after surgery because of the nodules and the damage to her cords. She was singing Rolling in the Deep night after night during her concert, and her poor baby vocal cords could not handle it. Luckily, in Rolling in the Deep, she had a deep. She went to the C on a head tone to give herself a break. So it's could have had it all, rolling in the deep. She belted most of it until deep. She made a device. She used a tactic to give her a little tiny break so she didn't have to be screaming in chest voice all the time. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying as a learner, as you're learning voice technique, spreading your mouth wide open and pushing as hard as you can and as high as you can is frowned upon. If you have to holler to get the note, it's not quite healthy or proper. So, proper is a chosen word. I'm trying to explain this so that people don't try and copy a belter because they'll thrash their voice. Here we go. We're going to listen to the last line. Heck yeah. She crushed it. Wasn't that nice? So I'm not going to say anything about that. It's the D sharp. It's the E flat. And it was beautiful. It was balanced. It was long. It was sustained. And it was controlled. A plus. But as you watch people from the past, you can see people do things with their neck, with their mouth, with their chin. You see veins popping out. Go look at singers, well-respected singers, filthy rich, adored, famous singers. The technique has changed, and that is all I'm getting at with Idina. So you can see some of the same things that we discussed about chest voice before. I brought up again, not to say this wasn't a fantastic performance. It was probably great to see her live, probably amazing. But as a teacher, you analyze and you try not to be moved by all the drama, and you analyze what the vocal cords are doing. So I hope that clarifies some things about my feelings towards belting. Has nothing to do with Idina Menzel. Has nothing to do with her and her fantastic contribution to culture and how she has almost single-handedly changed the sound of current non-traditional contemporary musical theater. Give her credit where credit's due. 100%. I've said that and I say it again. So when you bring someone like Cynthia in, you're bringing in someone younger, more trained, and in a different, I'm going to say, era. It might not be an era. It might not be a complete generation, but it's a different era because we know more now about vocal training, and we don't hire people or cast people that holler or belt too hard. Okay. Okay, what's next? Let's see. How about this one? This is somebody named Melba Moore. And I guess somebody said in one of the comments that for sure she belted super high long before Idina Menzel. So this is Melba Moore singing on the Ed Sullivan Show, which is a long time ago. I'm not going to look it up right now. I want to get to this person who supposedly was belting long before Idina Menzel, and we shall see. I've never heard of her, and I've never heard her sing. I put it to the end of the song. Okay, wow, gotta hear that again. Okay, Are you listening? So the first note is a D, la, da, and she's hollering that in chest, but it's not screamed. It's well done. So this would be screamed. I can't even do it. Ha, ha, that's chest voice. You don't want to drag your chest voice up. And if you're singing in your mix, it might sound like this. Woo, ah, and it sounds too heady, and you're like, oh, I don't like that. But what she's doing is a thinner version of that. Ha, wa, da, 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 ba, da, da, whoa. It's a skinny chest, or it's a mature, developed mix. And then she hits a really high note, which I can only do in a light head voice. But she is adding resistance, and adding a little bit of pressure from her side muscles, right? And she's trying to add bass. So that's how you make a head voice sound like a chest voice. She's doing it on a really high note. That's my head voice, very light. I can't do what she's doing, but I could train myself to do it. You hold the note, then you add resistance like you're crying. It doesn't sound good, I agree. And then you add bass. I don't know how old she is. So good for her. If she's my age, heck yeah, good for her. So we're going to listen to it one more time and listen with the ears of a student or an expert, and give her credit for doing a great job in her chest voice, then going up to the head voice and sounding as she should, like chest voice, but not using chest voice. Please understand, that is not belting. It's a trick, and that's one of the dirty secrets in the magic method. I gotta go back. Huh! You gotta love it. Oh, wow. Okay, so I can see why somebody said she was the original belter. So just remember that she is belting, but she's belting in her mix. And so sometimes I say there's no such thing as healthy belting. Say that 3 times fast. Healthy belting. It's kind of hard. Anyway, there's no such thing as healthy belting, because traditionally belting means chest voice. But now in this new era, it's the middle voice, and it's a fat middle voice, a fat head voice, or a skinny chest. I can't give it all away in a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video. You have to start to understand how your body works and how the vocal cords behave. And it's kind of mysterious until you learn it, and then it's so obviously easy. So I hope that you can figure it out from these 2 singers, the difference between a chest belt and then a mixie belt, to simplify everything I just said. I don't want to go on and on. Okay, who's next? This is Dana Paola, who played the Mexican alphabet, and somebody asked me to take a look at her. So I put it to the end, to the defying gravity part, and let's listen to the finale. It's no mames. Okay, obviously it's kind of a bootleg video, sorry. But can you hear the middle voice dominate, the dominant middle voice, not dominant chest? Please tell me you hear that. She's really good at it. She's very excited. She's moving around a lot. She's probably out of breath. She's not trying to be super controlled. She's very excited, but you can hear as it gets higher, she's doing what we call thinning out. Okay, and that's the mix. So some notes she's thinning out, and sometimes she's using a fat head. I know it's confusing, but once you can wrap your brain around it, you can analyze these people too, and you can do voice teacher reacts. Here we go. Did you hear that? That was really skinny. Practice going meow, 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 because naturally your chords close, and they add a little resistance with the M and the closing W, and just the idea of meowing. It's a little whiny. I hope you heard it. I'll take it back. It's so chaotic. I'm sorry. Okay, that was great. She even stayed higher than she needed to, but I hope that you can hear that it's the middle voice, that it is not chest. And she's a little out of control because she's so excited. And it's obviously in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. But it's fantastic, and it's technically right where it should be. You know, she's not Cynthia Erivo. She's not trying to be all composed like a cabaret singer in a gown, right? She's doing what Idina Menzel did, but she's definitely thinning out, and she seems tiny. She seems like a tiny person, so tiny people have tiny vocal cords, and sometimes they can sing like a tiny person. Little kids can belt super high, right? But you can still hear her thinning out, and you hear some of these devices and tactics that we've been talking about. Look at her go. Good for her. That was awfully long, that last note. I didn't count. Okay, here's the deal. She's playing it really evil, isn't she? Okay, so I liked learning about her. I will do some more research on her. She's darling. She's seems technically trained, or she's just natural like Idina. She's thinning out, and then she's learning how to put the air behind the tone, not in the middle of it, in order to make it sound like she's hollering. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I mean, I don't like demonstrating, but listen, if you just go, wow, 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 the more you experiment and the more you play with that sound, the more you'll be able to put it in a song. So isolate the sound you're after and visit that sound often, and then plug it into a song. Your brain will memorize it. Your brain will memorize that amazing balance of how much air and how much resistance. Oh, wow, wow, meow, 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 meow. I am not in chest voice. I'm in a middle voice, and let me show you more head voice. Meow, meow, that's head. But when I add resistance to my meow, 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 and I don't sing, I find the right balance, and then I polish it later. I bake the cake, and then I put the frosting on later. Take it little steps at a time. So she's phenomenal. I loved her voice. I loved her performance. She reminded me a lot of Idina in a good way, and she's cute. Okay, I just picked this one because somebody said that originally Elphaba was written for her, and I really haven't seen much of her, so I looked her up and I found this video because why am I playing it? Because I liked her. I couldn't even analyze her technique. I was so busy enjoying her. Let's watch. This is for fun, but maybe you'll be able to pick out what she's doing well. And for me, she's just embodying the song and the character, and I am taken away, which is hard to do.
Breaking up is my family.
Okay, so is she supposed to be right on pitch? Are we going to pick on her for not being perfectly on pitch? Heck no, absolutely not. This is embodying the song. She's jumping up and down. Oh, Tina Turner used to do that. Woo! And she was like 65. You know how hard it is to sing when you're jumping up and down. Okay, gotta move on. Oh, she's eating it. I've never seen that done. I've never seen anybody sing with a lump of dough in their mouth without choking on it. I don't even know what that's about, but she's embodying the character. I can tell she's breaking down. She's hilarious with the knife, and she obviously has chops. She has chops. She can sing. So if that was written for her, if Wicked was written for her, and for whatever reason she turned it down or whatever, I mean, what am I going to do? I can Google it. I can ask Stephen Schwartz who he wrote it for. I don't know. I'm not going to do that research, but I wanted to look her up because somebody said that, and this is a great role. I love the song I'm breaking down. It's not easy. I've heard it done many, many times, but I have never seen what I just saw. That was a first. Oh, I feel like throwing up because I can't imagine singing with a lump of dough in your mouth. Imagine how hard she had to practice doing that so that she didn't have it all the way back in her throat so that she wouldn't choke. Okay, she wins the prize of embodying a character and singing in a dangerous scenario. God bless her. Okay, well, thank you for joining me for this little tutorial on what to do and what not to do when you think you're ready to sing Defying Gravity. And yeah, if you're breaking down, learn how to embody and create a way to express that without hurting yourself. That's what we're here to do, I guess, right? We're here to learn how to sing these high notes and these impossible songs without damaging our voice. And here she goes, singing the song without choking. So that is the metaphor for all my voice teacher reacts. So I hope to see you again. Like, share, comment, and I hope I clarified some things for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.